The message came just after lunch as I sat in my corner office on the 34th floor of a sleek tower overlooking downtown Seattle. I was reviewing partnership agreements for Ares One, the aerospace logistics company I founded 4 years ago. It was from my mother. Your father's 65th birthday is this Saturday. Given recent tensions, we've decided it's best you don't attend. We all need a calm evening, no distractions. I stared at the screen, letting the words sink in. Recent tensions, she said. What she meant was I told the truth. I exposed my brother Tyler for siphoning funds from the family's investment firm, the same firm I once helped rescue in my 20s. Apparently, theft was forgivable. Integrity wasn't. There was a soft knock at the door. My executive assistant, Camille, stepped in. Miss Blake, the renewal forms for the executive hangar leases just came in. You'll want to sign off before the week's end. Let me see, I said. One of those hangars, Hangar C12 at SeaTac Private Terminal, housed a Gulfstream G700 I personally delivered 2 years ago. It was purchased unknowingly from Ares One. My family still had no idea that the company they praised for its discretion and high-end aircraft was mine. I'd built it under a different name after they dismissed me as too ambitious to be taken seriously in their world. I pulled up the Gulfstream's flight log. Of course, right after Dad's party, a week-long escape to Turks and Caicos. Tyler, his wife Erin, and my older sister Melinda, the so-called unifiers of the family, had arranged everything. Another ping. Mom again. Tyler and Melinda have gone to great lengths to plan something beautiful. Please don't stir the pot. I set my jaw. So, the two people who lied and laundered were invited to toast my father. And I, the daughter who'd actually kept the books clean and built a multi-million-dollar company, was the pot stirrer. I turned back to Camille. Please bring me the lease contract for Hangar C12, the original one. Moments later, I was scanning the clause I'd slipped in when I leased the jet to their Shell LLC. Ares One reserves the right to revoke hangar access and flight permissions with 24 hours notice for any reason. Camille, I said calm and clear. Call Eric in operations. Tell him to issue a lease termination on Hangar C12 effective tomorrow. Her eyebrows lifted. That's the Blake family hangar. Not anymore. And the jet? Activate grounding protocol on the G700 remote lockout. She gave a slow nod. Understood. I leaned back in my chair, glancing at the framed photo beside my monitor. Dad and me at the Boeing Museum years before the betrayal. I still loved him, but if they were going to pretend I didn't exist, I'd show them just how invisible I could make them feel. Especially when the runway lights stayed off and their jet doors wouldn't open. Let Tyler and Melinda explain that to their elite guests. Your sister Melinda is on line 1, says it's urgent. Of course it was. Melinda only called when she needed something, usually money, favors, or access. Last time, it was a last-minute luxury interior upgrade for their Gulfstream before her college roommate's destination wedding. She still had no idea she'd been begging her embarrassing little sister for help. I let it go to voicemail. Instead, I tapped out a reply to Mom's text. Don't worry, I won't be at Dad's birthday, but you might want to double-check your flight plans next week. Then I refocused on the acquisition proposal glowing on my screen. Ares was about to absorb a rising competitor in the drone freight sector. While my family assumed I was still some reckless dropout who'd wasted her inheritance on a pilot's license and an MBA, I was running one of the fastest-growing aerospace firms on the West Coast. My phone buzzed again. Probably Melinda panicking about the hangar notice, or Tyler realizing his perfectly timed Caribbean escape was about to be grounded. I didn't check. I was too busy doing what they never thought I could, running a multi-million-dollar business and finally giving karma just the lift it needed. A quick glance at the Caribbean weather forecast. Clear skies all week, ideal flying conditions. Too bad they wouldn't be going anywhere. The next morning, my office line started ringing at exactly 7 a.m. I watched the red lights on the phone console blink one after another as the news spread. Miss Blake, Camille said through the intercom. Your father is on line 1, your mother's on line 2. Melinda has called 6 times already. I turned to face the skyline and smiled. Put Dad through. His voice thundered through the speaker. What the hell is going on, Naomi? Some company, Ares One, just canceled our hangar lease, and now the jet won't start. Something about remote security protocols. I leaned back in my chair. What a shame. Have you tried calling customer service? He was fuming. They said the owner exercised termination rights. We've been clients for 2 years. Well, Dad, I said coolly. Maybe the owner doesn't appreciate being excluded from her own father's birthday party. There was a beat of silence, then the sound of papers rustling. A pause, then, Naomi Blake, you're listed as CO. That's you, huh? Surprise, I said softly. Turns out your reckless daughter built a little something while you were too busy defending Tyler's fraud. This is absurd, he snapped. You can't do this, Dad, I replied calm and clear. I can and I did. It's all in the lease agreement you signed, Clause 9b. You know, the one no one bothered to read. This isn't how family handles things. I looked out toward SeaTac, watching one of my jets rise cleanly into the sky. No, I agreed. But it is how business works, and unfortunately for you, I run both better than you ever let me. Maybe if you'd taken my business degree seriously, I said, you would have read the fine print. Then I hung up. Line 2 blinked again. Mom trying for the second time. I didn't answer. Camille appeared in my doorway. Your sister Melinda's in the lobby, she said, very determined to see you. I sighed. Send her up. Time to handle the drama head-on. 5 minutes later, Melinda stormed into my office, her designer bag swinging like a weapon. Her heels clicked furiously on the marble floor. What the hell did you do? She demanded. We're supposed to fly out tomorrow. I gestured calmly to the chair across from my desk. Sit down, Mel. Let's talk about loyalty. Family loyalty, she rolled her eyes. You want to talk about loyalty? You turned Tyler in for embezzling millions, I reminded her, which you helped hide. He made a mistake, she snapped. We were protecting him. That's what family does. No, I said, rising and walking to the far wall. It was lined with my aviation certifications, degrees from Stanford and Embry-Riddle, framed newspaper articles, and a recent Forbes feature. Family tells each other the truth. Family doesn't exile someone for doing the right thing, and they definitely don't cut them out of birthdays because it's more peaceful that way. Melinda opened her mouth but had nothing to say. This peaceful you wanted, I added. Was that like when you all laughed at my dream of working in aviation, or when you called my pilot's license a hobby, or when you helped Tyler falsify company ledgers while mocking me for not joining the family firm? She fell silent, her eyes scanning my office. The skyline view, the awards, the contracts, the silent proof of everything I'd built while they weren't paying attention. You own Ares 1, she whispered. All this time, that jet I begged to upgrade. You were begging your little sister, I said flatly. The one who supposedly wasted her inheritance on a career that didn't matter. She swallowed hard. Does Tyler know? Not yet, I said, glancing at my watch. But he'll find out when he tries to use his Ares 1 loyalty card to charter a backup jet and finds it frozen. Melinda slowly sank into the chair. So the Caribbean trip is cancelled, I confirmed. Consider it my birthday present to Dad. A reminder of what loyalty really looks like. My phone buzzed again. Third call from Mom. I ignored it. On my desk, the regional airline acquisition proposal sat waiting. Funny, they use that airline as a backup all the time. Soon it would be mine too. You should go, I told Melinda gently. I've got some empire building to finish. She stood, her tone softer now. Naomi, I'm sorry. For everything. Are you sorry for how you treated me? I asked quietly. Or just sorry you can't use my jets anymore? She didn't answer. And that silence, it told me everything I needed to know. My own family banned me from my father's birthday, so I canceled their private jet and grounded their Caribbean escape. If you love stories of quiet revenge and power revealed, hit subscribe. You don't want to miss what comes next. As Melinda left, Camille stepped in with a new folder. The board at Northwest Skylink accepted your acquisition offer. Do you want the final paperwork drawn up? I nodded, a flicker of satisfaction rising. That regional airline had long been my family's favorite fallback for last-minute travel. Yes, and Camille, I added, notify all Ares 1 partners. Effective immediately, the Blake family is no longer authorized to charter any of our aircraft under any name or account. Understood. Sometimes life delivers its lessons in business meetings. Other times, through grounded jets and revoked privileges. I turned back to my desk. After all, I had a birthday celebration to miss. The morning of my father's 65th birthday, I sat alone in my penthouse office, overlooking the sound, sipping espresso, and watching the chaos unfold through Aries One's back-end booking system. They'd spent the past 24 hours scrambling, trying every affiliate, every connection, but each reservation mysteriously failed one by one. Miss Blake, Camille's voice came through the intercom. Tyler's trying to charter a jet through our Singapore partner using his backup corporate card. Decline it, I said without hesitation. I pulled up the tracking log for the G700, still parked at SeaTac, the $65 million aircraft sitting inert in its hangar, locked down under Aries One security protocols. A beautiful, useless paperweight. My phone lit up. A message from Mom. Naomi, please. This is cruel. You've ruined your father's birthday. I leaned back in my chair, remembering birthdays past, how I'd sat at long tables clapping politely while they praised Tyler's vision and Melinda's stability. I was always the odd one out. The dreamer with a pilot's license, a distraction, a footnote. I typed back. Cruel, like being excluded from his birthday, or like covering up fraud? Her response was immediate. We can talk about this. Just come to the house, please. I pulled up a satellite view of the family estate, the white-pillared mansion on Lake Washington, complete with its private helipad. They didn't know I'd bought that helipad last year through a holding company. Can't, I replied. Too busy running my hobby business. The office line rang. Yeah. This time I answered. The regional airline rejected our booking, he said bluntly. Did you buy them too? Yesterday, I replied, along with a helipad at the estate and the charter company Melinda tried calling as a backup. Silence. Then, in a low voice, he asked, How big is Aries One exactly? I glanced at the screen beside me showing fleet stats, valuation charts, and market dominance heat maps. Big enough, I said calmly. Bigger than the family business, even before Tyler's theft. A pause. You never said. You never asked, I replied. You all were too busy laughing at my pilot's license to notice the empire I was building. There was nothing left to say. I looked back out the window at the Seattle skyline. Steady, quiet, and powerful. It's like me. Naomi, his voice cracked slightly. I didn't know. You never asked, Dad, I said quietly. None of you did. You just assumed I was failing because I chose a different path. Camille appeared in my doorway, holding her tablet. On the screen, live security footage from Hangar C-12 showed Tyler gesturing wildly, arguing with Aries One staff beside the grounded jet. Your brother's threatening to call his lawyers, Camille reported. I glanced at the screen, unbothered. Let him, I said calmly. Mine are better. Dad must have heard that through the line. Naomi, please, he said. We can fix this. The Caribbean trip means a lot to your mother. I turned back to my window, watching a fleet of Aries One aircraft take off from SeaTac. And your birthday meant a lot to me, I replied. Funny how family loyalty only matters when you need something from me. I pulled up our internal client database. Did you know the governor uses Aries One for campaign travel? So do 3 Fortune 500 CEOs. That little hobby you all mocked. I paused. It made me a billionaire. The silence on the other end of the line was longer this time and heavier. But hey, I added, at least you have Tyler and Melinda at your party. The good children. The ones who bring peace, not drama. We were wrong, he said finally. About everything. About you. Yes, I said, standing slowly. You were. I walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. The Seattle skyline bathed in golden morning light before me. Sprawling alive. Mine. And now, I continued, you know exactly what that mistake cost you. Camille reappeared at the doorway. Your mother is on her way up, she said. Security called. I nodded. Thanks. I turned back to the phone. Dad, I have to go. Mom's here. Probably to beg for travel access. I won't be granting. Happy birthday. Then I hung up. Mom swept into the room less than 30 seconds later. High heels sharp against the tile. Dress tailored and expensive, but the desperation was harder to mask. Naomi, she began, her voice controlled but tight. This has gone far enough. Has it? I asked, stepping closer. Because I don't think it's gone far enough at all. I moved behind my desk and picked up the newest acquisition proposal, a smaller charter company my family had leaned on for decades. In fact, I said, I'm just getting started. She hesitated, searching my face. What do you want? What I've always wanted, I answered without hesitation. Respect, recognition, a family that values integrity over image. Then I handed her a folder. Inside was everything. A full audit of Tyler's embezzlement, bank trails, Melinda's cover-ups, emails, transaction logs, and on the final pages, a full breakdown of Aries One's growth, revenue, client base, and global reach. Read it, I said. All of it. Then ask yourself if excluding me from Dad's birthday was really about keeping the peace. I paused, then met her eyes. Or just about protecting the lies that keep this family comfortable. She took the folder with trembling hands and sank into the guest chair without a word. I have to get back to work, I said gently, returning to my seat. The jets won't fly themselves. She left without another word. I watched the door close, then refreshed the Caribbean forecast one more time. Still perfect. Warm skies, calm winds. Too bad my family wouldn't be enjoying any of it. Not today. Not next week. Not ever again, unless they learn the truth. That the daughter they dismissed, the one they underestimated, was the only one capable of flying them forward. And she had learned to fly alone. I picked up the phone and dialed my legal team. Let's finalize the Cascade Charter acquisition, I said, and start exploratory talks with Apex Regional. I want to own the entire corridor. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just grounding their jets. It's soaring higher than they ever imagined possible. And never looking back. They called me dramatic, a disappointment, just a girl with a pilot's license and a pointless dream. But I built an empire in silence. And when the moment came, I didn't yell. I revoked their access, grounded their jet, and made sure the people who ignored me finally saw who I am. If you've ever been underestimated, overlooked, or cut out by the people you loved most, drop a comment below. Tell me your story. I read every single one. And if you believe that quiet strength speaks louder than drama, tap that subscribe button. Because here, we believe success doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just flies higher. And if there's one thing I've learned, never let anyone else define your value. Build in silence, rise with purpose, and when they finally look up, let them see you soaring. Let's fly higher.